5 ways to prepare for church in the morning. Number 1, go ahead and pre-decide that you will be obedient. When we open up the Bible, it's not so much that we read the Bible, we let the Bible read us. So whatever the Lord convicts you of tomorrow, or what He can encourage you to do, or what He tells you to do, go ahead and pre-decide right now that you will be obedient. Go ahead and say yes. Go ahead and sign your blank check, if you will, and say, yes, I will do whatever the Lord tells me to do tomorrow. Number 2, ask God to do one specific thing. Vague prayers get vague answers, but specific prayers get specific answers. So what's one thing you're asking God to do for you tomorrow? Maybe it's to encourage you in an area, or maybe it's for clarity on a difficult decision, or maybe it's to help you forgive somebody, or maybe it's to make more friends. One time somebody told me somebody had left another church upset, and this friend of mine asked a really honest question. They said, what was that person asking God to do that God wasn't doing? And so sometimes we get frustrated or we feel like we're not growing. My question for you is, what are you specifically asking God to do? So prepare tomorrow by asking God to do one specific thing. Number 3, pray that you and everyone else who shows up tomorrow, that the Lord would open our minds and our hearts to listen to His word. I actually pulled this straight from Acts chapter 16, a really cool story about Lydia. And it says, this is what it says that God opened the mind of Lydia to listen to the Apostle Paul's teaching. So ask that God would open up your mind and my mind and the mind of everybody else who will be going to church with you, and that God would open up not only their minds, but their hearts, that God would humble us to receive whatever He has for us. Number 4, prepare for tomorrow by mapping out your night and tomorrow morning. So go ahead and say like, hey, I'm going to go to bed at this time tonight. I will set an alarm and I will be out of bed by such and such tomorrow morning. I'll be dressed or have the kids ready or whatever, and we're not going to make any stops on the way to church, or yes, we are going to stop for a coffee. Go ahead and make a plan. It would even be wise to go ahead and set out your clothes. If it's possible to prepare, like, at least in your mind, what you're gonna have for breakfast. Go ahead and make as many decisions as you can tonight, so that when you do show up tomorrow morning, like, your mind is as focused as it possibly can be. We've all had that experience where we show up to church maybe a little bit late or way more frustrated than we should have been, and a little bit of planning tonight can go a long way in helping you show up prepared to worship and to receive whatever the Lord has for you tomorrow. Number 5, this one's so important to the mission of God. Invite 3 people right now to come sit with you tomorrow morning. So a text message, a phone call, forward this message to somebody and be like, hey, I want you to come sit with me. Maybe it's people that you already go to church with, you just haven't seen them in a long time. Or maybe it's that coworker or the classmate or that friend or family member, and just be like, hey, would you come and sit with me tomorrow? It would mean so much to me. And if you're feeling generous, maybe you can offer to at least meet them out for lunch, or maybe even buy their lunch as well. I genuinely believe that if you'll do these 5 things, you're gonna have a better time at church tomorrow. And don't get me wrong, even if you do none of these things, like, still show up. Man, God is gracious and God is merciful. But if you do these things in preparation for tomorrow morning, the Lord will see your sacrifice